In a previous video, we talked about using /local to define local variables in your argument block when you're defining a function. Well, actually, that's optional. You can do it. It's kind of clear when you explicitly define it. But really, Rebol can do that for you. The Rebol function, called function, will do that for you automatically when it sees set words in the body of the function. So let me go ahead and demonstrate that, make that clear. Going back to our sum example, so we're going to set a new function called sum, and we have our two arguments, a and b, and then we're just going to do our addition on a and b. Very simple, very clear. And then if you wanted to define locals within that function body, as discussed before, you can go in and do /local and then add in your words that you want to be local to that function body. But really, that is optional. So let's see what that looks like if we just ignore that, and let's go ahead and define a string. Call this prints the sum, and then let's just print that, and I think we're good. So let's do 1 + 1, and you'll see that it sets that string and prints it and then returns the sum of our two arguments as expected. So what does that look like if we probe it? So let's probe getSum, and you'll notice that Rebol automatically identified MSG as a local variable and added it to /local. So you really don't get out of having a /local. It's just kind of done for you automatically by just looking for set words within the function body. So that's convenient. Helps automate things a little bit, takes a little bit of the load off the programmer, that's fine. But what happens when you want to manipulate a global variable? I know that's not best practice, but sometimes you need to do that, and if you keep that global list of global variables small, it's not necessarily a bad thing to do. Sometimes necessary. Anyway, beyond that discussion, how would you do it? Because right now, if you just if you try to reference a global function, when Rebel's going to look at that and say, oh, this is going to be one of the locals, and then you won't be able to reach that global function. So if you look at the help function, you'll notice in the refinements there's a /extern refinement, and that requires a block, and any words that you put in that block with the /extern refinement is going to be considered not local, so that won't be added to the /local list when it sees a set word for a global in your function body. So let's try that out. Let's just define a word called global string, and we're just going to say this is global. All right, and now let's go back and modify our function definition by adding that extern. So we're going to do function /extern, and then it also requires a block of global words, and we're going to reference global string. And then within the function, we're going to go ahead and just change global string. Like so. And let's see if that works for us. So now if we do a probe on getSum, you'll notice that there are no local variables now. So it should treat global string as a global variable. Let's try that out. Sum 1 + 1, and it's just going to return true. But now if I evaluate global string, you'll see that when I ran that function, it redefined the string there. It changed the text for us. So that's how you can automatically create locals and still have the flexibility of modifying and manipulating global variables as well. That's it for now. Thank you for watching.